Design Award winner for the Public Building Public Realm, which the judges selected for providing a new arrival space, areas for social integration and accommodating thousands of daily visitors, is the new welcome building at the RHS Wisley. And I'm here today with Andy Jasper, the project director, and I'm going to ask Andy a few key questions. What have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to encounter in doing this project?
The problem we had was actually getting out of the ground, and we started the project in the autumn, late autumn, and obviously starting a project in the middle of winter, or getting out of the ground through the winter. The building is actually almost at water table level, so actually digging down, and those ground conditions were really, really tricky. So it took a long time for us to actually get out of the ground and then up. Once it was up, then actually the project really was just on rails, and it has been one of those things that actually was delivered just about on time.
So when you set out on the project, what were the principal objectives that you wanted to achieve?
Yeah, so the principal objectives in a nutshell were really to address barriers to access and making sure that we actually had a building that was actually going to be meeting the business case. So providing the revenue returns that we need, addressing things like the number of toilets that we've got, the step-free access from car park all the way through to entry, making sure that the cafes were there were enough seats and covers in there. So the objectives really were very much the business case and addressing barriers.
Having completed the project and lived with it for a little while, what's the one single thing that's given you the most delight? The
fact it's actually addressed a lot of those physical barriers to entry, and you see people coming in who potentially wouldn't have been able to come in before, so that really is great. I mean, my favourite thing is obviously the avenue of cherries. I just think, 200 metres of cherry, Prunus yedaensis, and it gives you this incredible show right at the beginning of the year. Early flowering cherries. It's like a firework display literally going off that allows people to walk through these into the garden.
And I know this is a very unique project, but if someone else was starting a similar project, what would be the one thing that you would recommend to them to do?
The other one is actually making sure that you deliver the landscape at the same time as the building. So in your project, make sure you're working with the landscape architects as well as the others, and it really makes a difference to allow that to catch up and be ready for that. Another top tip, keeping the team engaged all the way through. The stakeholders in this organisation are not just the people who are going to be running the building, or occupying the building. It's our visitors, it's the members, and having them right at the beginning of the briefing stage, finding out what issues, what means things to them. If you can address the issues without spoiling the essence of Wisley, that was the key thing. So keeping the involved, and then always revisit after you've opened the building, and don't be afraid to make adjustments. We've made a few little adjustments here that's actually addressed it hasn't operated, everything is in the way that we expected, and we've addressed them immediately, and we just thought actually there's no point in just leaving it, even though we've finished the project, actually just tweak it and make it work.